I'm joined in studio by our senior political director, Andrew Rafferty, and on the scene with our White House correspondent, Haley Bull. Both of them are gathering information from their sources. Haley, I'll begin with you. Charlie Kirk, no stranger to Washington, D.C. or Washington, D.C. politics. What are you hearing from your sources at the White House?
Yeah, Del, a lot of eyes, a lot of prayers going out to Charlie from those here at the White House this afternoon. President Donald Trump weighing in on Truth Social, saying, quote, "We must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who has been shot, a great guy from top to bottom. God bless him." Vice President J.D. Vance also weighing in, saying, quote, "Say a prayer for Charlie Kirk, a genuinely good guy and a young father." The administration certainly jumping into action. Attorney General Pam Bondi noting that both the FBI and ATF are on the scene, while FBI Director Kash Patel saying that they are monitoring the reports of the shooting of Charlie, saying, quote, "Our thoughts are with Charlie, his loved ones, and everyone affected. Agents will be on the scene quickly, and the FBI stands in full support of the ongoing response and investigation." Charlie Kirk, of course, the founder of Turning Point USA, a political organization aimed at young voters, at youth, a major voice in the MAGA movement, the Make America Great Again movement behind President Donald Trump, a right-wing influencer and the host of the Charlie Kirk Show, a major conservative voice, especially for President Trump and his base of supporters. So we are seeing just the impact of this news here in Washington, D.C. Across party lines, though, I will add, Del, Senator Chris Murphy reportedly addressing the shooting on the floor, saying that they are sending their thoughts to him and survivors. Notably, additionally, Utah Representative Jason Chavez on Fox saying that he was at the event, that as witnesses appeared to describe there, that Charlie Kirk was answering his second question when the shooting happened, saying that Kirk was answering a question about transgender mass shooters. Again, we don't know and have not independently confirmed or verified information about the shooter or any motivations at this time. We are seeing a statement from Utah Valley University, Del, who noted that at 12:10, a shot was fired at Charlie Kirk. The university says that he was hit and taken from the location by his security, that campus police is investigating, and a suspect is in custody. But again, Charlie Kirk is a major figure, a major political voice, especially among the conservative movement. And so needless to say, all eyes here up to President Trump monitoring this, Del.
All right, Haley Bull at the White House. Haley, as soon as you learn any more information, just give us the sign and we'll come right back to you. I want to go now to our senior political reporter, Andrew Rafferty, right now. Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, controversial might be the understatement, but right now what we know, factually, 12:10, as Haley said, he was shot and then taken from the university. You're gleaning social media right now. What are you seeing?
Yeah, well, let me just back up here, because for a lot of folks, probably outside of Washington, outside of politics, you may not be totally familiar with who Charlie Kirk is or his influence on American politics, specifically on conservative politics. He's somebody who has been a close ally of Donald Trump, and it is notable because, A, his age, he is much younger than most of our elected officials, and he has never himself been an elected official. He came onto the scene really during the rise of Trump during his first presidency, and he began a movement that started along college campuses where he was today. And his thought process was that he was going to go to the young people who had largely been sort of ignored by conservatives. This was a time when he was starting Turning Points USA, where young people were largely Democratic or liberal leaning, and he was going to start what was sometimes called the silent majority, this sort of groundswell of people who maybe didn't feel comfortable speaking out on college campuses about their political ideology. And we saw this in the 2024 election. It was incredibly, incredibly successful. The crowds that he would get going to these college campuses, he said, would directly turn into young people turning out and voting. And he was not afraid to debate. And he is still, to this day, his group is very much active. Earlier this year, he was on Gavin Newsom's podcast, the California governor, who just moments ago had his own response to these reports of the shooting, saying, let me pull it up here, that the attack on Charlie Kirk is disgusting, vile, and reprehensible. In the United States of America, we must reject political violence in every form. So Charlie Kirk, known, yes, to be brash, but also to be unafraid of going in and mixing it up with people who don't share his political ideology.
Yeah, the bipartisan reaction seems to be almost indicative of what happened when there was the shooting in the baseball field during the softball game. When you had a member of Congress actually shot, bipartisan outrage, because violence has no place in this country, and this is an opportunity for both sides of the aisle to say that what happened in Utah should never happen again.
Yeah, and I mean, Charlie Kirk was front and center at the inauguration for Donald Trump earlier this year, and he was sort of the epitome, or maybe is the epitome, the sort of face of this sort of influencer sort of political commentator who in many ways is more important or more influential than many of our elected officials.
Yeah, many say he gave voice to the forgotten white male, reached out to that population that used to be in the Democratic camp, switched over to the Republican side of the aisle.
Yeah, I think he embodied what sort of was the undertones of Donald Trump's both his runs to office, and he did it in a much more explicit way, sort of. And that's, you know, we'll see who. He was able to appeal to a certain group of people who, yes, they had felt that they were not necessarily appealed to by other group, and they also were not really engaged in politics. And that's why Charlie Kirk is so influential and such an asset to the conservative movement today, because he was and is very able to translate some of the feelings of dejection or uncertainty into actual results, and that's why he gets these huge turnouts in these campus visits. He is scheduled to go to Colorado, number of all throughout the month, Minnesota. I'm just looking at it now, Montana, a lot of colleges out west, and again, trying to sort of gravitate and build on this idea that college campuses giving a safe haven for Republican conservative voices on college campuses.
Again, the breaking news at this hour. Right-wing political activist Charlie Kirk has been shot. He was attending an event at Utah Valley University. Desert News is reporting witnesses who say he was shot near his neck. Police say the suspect is in custody. We are monitoring our affiliate there, Scripps News Salt Lake City. We will take a break and be right back.